Roy titled Connor's Wedding. Personal memory, the manner in which individuals remember their past, helps individuals to look into their retrospectives. Even with individual personal memories, they can be shared with the group and be a collective memory. Vivacity, sense of immediacy or presence created through the use of descriptions, imagery, and colorful language that make an idea come alive. It adds a sense of engagement to the plot that is being told, which can make a story more compelling. Character development. Characteristic of good narratives and is the process of describing the actions of and relationships among actors within a story. Characters evolve over time, so viewers can illustrate a strong connection and empathize with individuals in the plot. Narrative probability focuses on the internal consistency of the story, characters, and plot. It helps maintain a consistency of the narrative as it makes the plot and characters' actions more believable to the story. It allows the plot to become more engaging. Plot, chain of causation of events within a narrative. It helps serve as a framework that makes the narrative move forward. It is a sequence of events that shape the story, creating a conflict and resolution. The artifact succession, Connor's wedding. The episode focuses on the death of Logan Roy. It begins with the Roy children en route to Connor's wedding and the Waystar senior executives on their way to a business deal with Logan. Dynamics within the family also play out against each other, creating issues for the wedding. Who is the Redder and what is their background? There are several characters who are the Redder, but it is mainly the Roy children, as each character can be seen as a Redder in their own right, due to language and tactics they use to navigate an intricate and delicate situation they are in. What prompted the rhetorical act and why is the Redder speaking? The death of Logan Roy prompted the rhetorical act, as it made the Redders, which are the Roy children, are shown with how they handle the death of their father while they are at their elder brother's wedding. What concepts is the case illustrating, and how does the case illustrate these concepts? Examples of concepts we see are narrative probability and character development. They apply to this episode because we focus on the internal consistency of the Roy children with how they handle their death of their father, as they also grow closer with each other by emphasizing that is included with their character development. Personal memory. Personal memory is applied to all the Roy children as they all had very different relationships with their father. Although they had love-hate relationships with their father at the time of their death, each child was not on good terms with him except Connor. Personal memory. With personal memory, each child put their anger to the side and were giving their last words to their father while recounting loving memories, but also recounting their issues and setting it to the side. Vivacity. A sense of presence was created with descriptions and imagery in the episode as Logan's passing was described through a phone call for the Roy children. Tom, Shiv's husband, was on the plane with Roy during his passing and was describing the entire situation while it was happening to the Roy children. Tom was describing that the flight staff was doing chest compressions to Logan for medical aid. Looking at the Roy children's point of the view, they only had Tom's voice to create images on what was happening. With not having the Roy children present, it created more engagement to the plot. Character development. Roman Roy was known to be very selfish, distant, stubborn, and rude. Yet in that moment, he was very empathetic to the family and supportive to his sister by offering comfort. Kendall Roy had several issues with his father, but was trying to help in any way he could as he put those differences to the side. Shiv's character development was illustrated by her phone call with Tom, as she was giving her last words to her father. She was very loving and caring in the phone call to Logan, although the last time they saw each other in person, it was a very unpleasant outcome for the Roy children. Narrative probability. Throughout the episode, each character's actions kept making the plot of the episode very engaging. Each character had a different and similar reaction to Logan's death, but every character's action was believable to the plot. It fell in line with their respective character arcs. Because of how emotionally traumatizing the death of their father was, the characters were forced to evolve beyond their typical personalities. They crossed the lines of comforting each other, which we rarely see throughout the series as they're constantly sabotaging each other. The chain of events that happened with Logan's death were altered the wedding for Connor. The single event carried the whole episode and even changed the plot for the whole season in drastic ways. The children's relationships changed too as it brought them closer. Ultimately, by choosing such a dramatic event to ground the episode, the writers of the show created a drama that kept the audience engaged. It led these anti-hero-esque characters to bring themselves together and support each other. It even led to the Roy children to be free of seeking for their father's approval and being his favorite. Discussion questions. Looking at the episode, do you feel like you can relate with the Roy siblings with being caring for each other in hard situations despite stressful circumstances? Question two, do you feel that the episode accurately portrayed high stress decision making in a high stress environment?